convince me that working is normal. Waking up tired, dragging yourself out of bed, giving all your energy to a job that will replace you in 2 seconds.
I have never seen the vibes so low. Everybody is just so tired, exhausted, overworked, underpaid. I feel like all we can do is laugh at this point. Otherwise, we'll cry.
Do you want to know what's insane? My grandfather came to this country with $1 in his pocket. $1. $1.
What is the alternative, guys? Let's talk about it really, because it's one thing to say we're tired, we don't want to opt out, but then what is the options? How do we pay bills? For those of us with children, how do we put food on the tables for them?
Coming home drained, too tired to enjoy your kids, your peace, your life, or even yourself. And somehow this is what we call normal? No. This is survival, y'all. This is burnt out, dressed up as responsibility. This is people breaking their necks, breaking their backs to barely make it, and we're supposed to smile and act like we're grateful for it? And you mean to tell me we only get one life, and most of it is supposed to be spent stressed, underpaid, overlooked, and exhausted? That would never sit right with me. And I'm not saying people shouldn't work. I'm saying this system is not normal. It's not normal to have anxiety every Sunday about Monday. It's not normal to cry in the parking lot before a shift. And it's not normal to work full time and still be behind on bills. And it's not normal to feel like your whole life belongs to a company. And they told us this was just part of being an adult. But honestly, a lot of us are waking up and realizing this ain't living. This is existing. I want more than survival. I want peace, y'all. I want freedom. I want to actually enjoy my life without feeling guilty for needing rest. So no, nobody will ever convince me that this is normal. Because, no. Nobody will ever convince me that
Freedom! Freedom! Let us be free. Let my people go, said Moses to the Pharaoh. That is the reality of most of us here on earth, is that even if you want to opt out, that is a luxury that most adults simply cannot afford in this day and age. And so while I agree with this sister, I don't know how we got to where we are right now, a place where you get paid and then
And it's gone.
most of your pay, right? Like we lose about around like already like 40% of our pay just off the bat, right? And then when you go to buy things, that's another like 15%, right? Then if you have a property, that's property taxes. You have like your, not to mention inflation as well. So really like we get to keep very little of what it is that we are making in a given year. How did we get to this point, you ask me? I do not know.
Collective burnout everybody is feeling right now is insane. I have never seen the vibes so low. Everybody is just so tired, exhausted, overworked, underpaid. I feel like all we can do is laugh at this point. Otherwise, we'll cry. I mean, how is this normal? I know lawyers that are asking around for second jobs. I mean, what's the point of doing all that school if you still need a second job? That's crazy. When did working 2 jobs and having no PTO become the norm? I have friends I haven't seen in months because all they do is work because they have no time off at all. And if you do get any time off, you're expected not to take it. You're guilted into not taking it. And for what? Nobody has any money. Everyone's broke as the next person, even if you have 2 jobs. I can't even bear to look at what.
So I just have to stop the brother right there when he says everyone is broke, because honestly, I don't believe that. You just have to go on Reddit. There's this subreddit called Fire. I believe it's financially independent, retire early. Some of the amount of money that these people have. Now I understand that the internet lies, right? I get it, but some of these has got to be true. So I'm just gonna say that not everybody is broke.
Prices are going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. I hate to sound negative, but man, I have just never seen it this bad. If everyone's this overworked, this tired, and this broke, is it ever going to get better? Or is this the way it's just supposed to be? I don't know. I just feel like this isn't quite what we were promised.
Right, what we were promised. I don't know what you guys were promised, like in the West. Like I'm from Nigeria. I came here in 2008. So in Nigeria, we were promised that the young children will become the leaders of tomorrow. We always sang it back in elementary school, but till today, it's still the same older folks that were ruling the country then that are ruling it now, right? So when I was just but a boy, fast forward over 3 decades later, and it's still the same people. So the Nigerian dream or the Nigerian promise was already broken, and it's why you have a lot of Nigerians in diaspora. So I don't know what the American dream or what was the American promise. All my American viewers watching, let me know down in the chat what were you promised as an American.
Do you want to know what's insane? My grandfather came to this country with $1 in his pocket. $1. $1. And he...
You know what I want to know is how her grandfather also got to school. Is he one of those grandfathers who got to school through like the first World War and then went through hell?
Made for himself within his 60 years of life a beautiful life, successful. He owned multiple homes, started multiple businesses, put all of his children through college, paid for their weddings, and these were elaborate, expensive, luxurious weddings. Now, my mother, my father, successful. They have, a life for themselves. They've owned multiple businesses. They have, vehicles and are able to pay for their life expenses. They put all of us through college. They're still putting my siblings through college. And if and when I want a wedding, they'll be able to fund that for me. At least I think so, right? My aunts, both of them, they have homes. They have, good lives for themselves. Nobody is living shittily. But the crazy thing is, I cannot envision myself ever owning a home, ever being able to afford a car or pay bills. And it's crazy, okay? I have a full-time job. I work sometimes I'm working 55 hours a week. Sometimes I work more than that. Like, I literally am always working, constantly working. And in my mind, it is just super unconceivable to ever meet the threshold of being super financial and stable in the finances that I have to, one, afford a life that I think is A, sustainable, but also comfortable, and B, do anything outside of the realm of bare necessity. And I told my husband this today, and he was like, you know what? I feel like what our parents achieved yesterday will never be our reality. And it's going to just take us a lot longer to get there. And I don't know why people constantly want to talk about the work ethic of young people. Because if anything, I feel like young people are just constantly working. But the only difference here is that you're constantly working, and for what? At the end of my pay cycle, I have money, but I don't have any of the other things that older generations were afforded. I don't have the...
Absolutely, and I believe we touched on that in the earlier video, right? It's like people are grinding harder than ever before, but at least before, when you grinded, you did the 2 jobs, the 3 jobs, you were able to stack your money. Whereas now, doing the 2, 3 jobs is just enough, especially if you have a family, to just survive. And that's where it's starting to become a little bit crazy.